Hello and welcome to 7 Minutes of Inspiration with Seven. My name is Latasha Guy. You're either watching me on my Facebook, YouTube, or you're watching snippets from my Instagram channel. 7 Minutes of Inspiration is dedicated to the motivating and encouragement of others through those real life situations that we sometimes face. Today's topic is centered on snake behavior. So you're probably like, what is she up to now? What is she talking about now? One of the most recent things that caught my mind was snakes, and having a conversation with someone. I was just sharing with them about the butterfly effect. They began to talk about snakes, and it made me intrigued to want to go know more about snakes, and from a spiritual standpoint, how we're often affected by snakes that slither into our lives. And so when I began to look up a snake, and I'll look down a little bit because I am looking at my notes. When I began to look at a snake, there was one of the things that really stood out to me is that snakes rely on venom to hunt and escape predators. The venom can be transmitted through biting, direct contact, or by spitting venom from a considerable distance. And so when I try to put that in relation from a snake, seeing the spiritual through the human, mystic form of it, I thought about either someone can be close to you, a situation can be close to you, or it can be far away. But either way, the venom that is poured from that situation, if it's in a negative way, it still can hurt you. Snake situations, snake spirits coming into your life won't always be those that are near and dear. Sometimes these things that can be sent to try and hurt us can be from a considerable long distance. I know I've had my share of trusting people that did turn out to be snakes, and those that spewed bad things on my name that were not true, and being in a position where I couldn't attack to save my character. I just had to trust God would work those things out for me. And I went a little bit more into research as far as snakes. It talked about snakes, they're immune to animals that are protected or exempt to venom. Humanistically speaking, once we've been changed to see things through a different lens of wisdom, when you begin to grow up and see things for what they really are, the snake's behavior can no longer affect you anyway. It can't. The lies, deceit, the backstabbing, the manipulation, the using, none of it will bother you anymore. Trust me, it won't. You'll see it, and you'll know how to walk away. And you'll know how to walk away with your dignity, keeping your character intact, not losing your cool, not becoming embarrassed, stooping to that person's level. Keep in mind, remember, the weapon's gonna form. That just doesn't mean that it's not gonna prosper. So that's why we can't, when we begin to go through things and we feel like someone has lied on us, someone has defamed our name, defamed our business, what we stand for, those things that are untrue against who we really are, we have to really understand that we're being attacked. And some of those attacks do come from snake situations that we found ourselves in, where we thought we could trust someone, we thought we could share certain things with someone. We've even invited someone into that personal realm of things that we do, and trying to be a light to encourage them in things that they may want to do, but their intentions may not always be right. And so keep your eyes wide open, because you don't want to invite this into your life. It doesn't mean it won't happen, but you don't want to purposely invite snakes into your life. Intriguingly, snakes fear those such as mongoose. If you get a chance, look up mongooses. They're a very scary looking animal. A mongoose is a mammal that is native to Africa and southern Eurasia. Mongooses are born with receptors that are shaped in a way that it makes it impossible for a snake's venom to attach itself to it. And usually those snakes just move on. If they realize that you kind of operate like a mongoose, where you have those receptors, you can see them coming, you know what they're up to, you begin to warn others what it is their mission or their motive is. Oh yeah, they move on quickly. Snakes don't like to be exposed. How many times have you been faced with those snakes that no matter how hard they tried, you just wasn't buying it? Was something in your spirit. You probably called a few people and told them, girl, something about this just ain't right. I don't know what is off. I see red flags. I don't know really what I'm dealing with here. I just know something doesn't feel right. You're probably dealing with a snake, or you're in a snake situation, something that is slithering and being slick into conniving you into doing some things, maybe investing in some things, placing your time in some things, putting yourself in situations that are not good for you. So just remember that God will give us the strength to let it go. The mongoose, again, it represents that awakening, utilizing your wisdom, things that have been shared with you, poured upon your heart, to be careful and be watchful for. Research has also shown that a snake is also fearful of the honey badger. So when you get a chance, look that up as well. The honey badger usually usually attacks when surprised by predators, which often when they're digging, poor eyesight, they may not be paying attention, and their nose is in the ground, meaning they're just in their own business. They can be oblivious to their surroundings. They just may not see it coming. But if presented, they will attack. Even if a honey badger is caught loose, it still has the ability to attack. Honey badgers, like humans, are known for their thick skin. A lot of us are very familiar with people that have extremely thick skin. It seems like they can handle what no other human can handle. It is that they have been through enough situations that have placed them in a position where they just don't allow a lot of things to slip through. They don't allow those venom situations to suck them in any longer. So be mindful. Sometimes we can get distracted by our surroundings. We have to pay attention. We always have to have our guard up, because we have those things that seek to latch on and destroy us. We have to fight back. We fight back with our faith. We fight back with our word. We fight back with speaking positive and not speaking negative. Remember, snakes are scared of pigs and hoofed animals that can stomp them out of panic, which lets you know that the snake knows where it can terrorize. When you're dealing with certain people, they know who they can pull their junk with, and they know they can't pull it with any and everybody. Don't allow yourself to be a garbage can for those that are seeking to dump their darkness. You let them know you represent light, you stand for light. If they're not about light, they can get going, because you don't have time for it. You don't have time to spew negative things into the atmosphere. Beware of those type of snakes. It's not to say that negativity won't enter your mind. However, we have to drive it out by thinking on those great things and how life really is working out for our good. Do you know that the snake, it steers away from confrontation if it feels like it's outnumbered? So a lot of times when we get together and we stand as one, we don't have to worry about the snakes getting in, because if you're hanging with all positive people, you're not going to spend that much time with negative people anyway. You're going to share what you need to share, and you're going to move on. When you know you're around a snake, it's better to be silent than attack. It's not always good to tell people what you know. I heard this and I heard that and I know this and I know. It's not good. Sometimes, no matter how much you tell a person, they have to figure it out for themselves. And so you just have to pray from afar. You really do. You have to pray from afar and just trust that God will do what he needs to do to protect and cover that person that may be dealing with someone that we know is a snake, that may be entering in some things that we know may not be right. We have to pray that God will cover them, give them skin as a mongoose, make them tough as a honey badger, that they will be able to withstand some of these venomous situations that sometimes can be thrown at them, and they're totally caught off guard and they're not aware. And that's due to sometimes we really can be naive when it comes to people, of thinking we can help them, and we can't. Keep in mind that God never called for us to kill or destroy the snake. However, to speak his word, to walk by faith, and to continue to place those things that are in enmity against the purpose and plans that he has for our life under our feet. It has been a pleasure to speak with you today. I do believe that I went over 7, but when there is something inside of you that you have to get out, you can't condense it. God knows your intentions and he knows your purpose. When you begin to deal with people, make sure that you're being intentional. Make sure that you are meeting the need that God called for you to be in their life. You don't need to worry about any of the other stuff. You have to pray that God will give them wisdom to wake up to some of the situations they may be exposed to, that they may be a part of, or that they're needing to get out of. For those snakes that are in their life, you have to pray that God would release that stronghold so that they can be whole again. Again, it has been my pleasure. 7 minutes of inspiration with 7. As I like to close, refuse to live less than blessed, because that is what you have been called.